I just want to say good morning. Thank you, Jamie. That was so wasn't it? Yeah. Can't wait. Well, there's so that explains that. Thank you. Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I invite you all to close your eyes if you wish. And let's bring in this magnificent, beautiful morning together with the power of sacred sound. This is a chant called Sacred Stones. It's in Sanskrit and Latin. And it's an invocation to our higher selves. It's a merging of the masculine and feminine within our hearts. So relax and surrender to yourself. Namaste. Shantakaram Bhujagashayanam Padmanabham Suresham Shantakaram Bhujagashayanam Padmanabham Suresham Vishwadaram Gaganasadrasham Shantakaram Bhujagashayanam Padmanabham Suresham Amen. Dominus et dominatio mei. Amen. Dominus et dominatio mei. Amen. Vishnu, 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 Vishnu. Hallelujah. Shayana Padmanabham Suresha Vishwadaram Gagana Sadrasha Shahantakaram Bhujagashayana Padmanabham Suresha Amen. Amen.
Nadine Risha. So beautiful. So beautiful. We're so grateful to have you here with us today. Thank you. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
What a beautiful way to start this beautiful day. I will surrender to my greatest, highest good. I will release any fear that blocks my way. For every step I take is taken in pure faith. And I am stronger every moment, every day. My mind is willing and my heart is open wide. I trust my instincts and let spirit be my guide. I vow to live a life that's real and pure and free. As I continue walking in this mystery, I surrender to my greatest, highest good. I release any fear that blocks my way. For every step I take is taken in pure faith. And I am grateful every moment, every day. There may be walls, there may be roadblocks in my way, but I can choose to take a higher path each day. And now I know what I thought was safe and sound was only habit and regret that held me down. I will surrender to my greatest, highest good. I will release any fear that blocks my way. For every step I take is taken in You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. Yes, I hold you in my heart always. You are my family. You are the face of God. You are my family. You are the face of God.
I know that God is in this place because we are here. Wherever we go, God is. Wherever we have been, God is. Because whatever God is, it, with a capital I, is all that there is. It is a power, a presence, a light, a life. It is a love. It is those of us as we come together in physical form or not physical form. It is the orbs in the building. It is the ground under our feet. It is the vastness of the mountains, the depths of the seas. Whatever God is, it's in all of this. So we come together to laugh, to sing, to celebrate, to choose life, to choose the experience of being with one another, of being for one another, looking into the eyes of God as God looks back into those same eyes. And when we see one another as the divine, we spread that out into our world and we see God everywhere we go. For that's absolutely true. God is all that there is. It's in me. It's in you. It must be in every one of us. And so it is.
She was right. It's all right here. All I can say is I cannot wait to hear more of my new bestie, maybe in next week. Sorry to put all that pressure on you. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. I do. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Yeah. Let us be reminded about who we've come to be. We are love, we are one. Give it to me. One big family. Hey. on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded about who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. I'm reverend.
Patty Powers and Dave, yes. If it's comfortable for you, please say with me, God bless America and the rest of the world. And just turn to a neighbor and just say good morning. We're still not hugging probably, but just say good morning and welcome.
Good morning to you. Oh, you are so welcome here. Everybody.
This is what I'm talking about.
Woo.
Agape's in the house.
You know it's a party.
Always, always. I'm Reverend Cheryl Bell, co-senior minister here with my sister, Reverend Stacey Hilton, and thank you all for being here. Awesome. Anyone here for the first time? Hi, how'd you hear about us?
My mom.
Your mom. Well, Mom, thank you. What's your name?
My name's Kenny.
Hi, Kenny. Welcome, welcome. Anyone else? Well, yes, Reverend Cheryl.
Reverend Cheryl.
Hey.
I'm happy to be here.
And I'm happy to have you here. Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you. And, oh my gosh. The
Yes,
angels,
beautiful voice.
the angel sitting over there.
Yes.
The skies are maybe, not even the skies, to be honest with you. Not even in the skies at all. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much. Awesome. That's beautiful, beautiful this morning. Huh. And welcome all of you that are online. And if you're here for the first time, please put a comment in the comment section on YouTube or on Facebook.
I think we had a little prize for somebody, some tickets.
Oh, did you all know Daniel? Not Daniel. Oh Lord, Daniel Name. I was here last month. But Jamie Lula is coming the 4th of September,
Yes.
Labor Day weekend, aka the beginning of Reverend Stacey's birthday month.
All right.
Yes. Stacy, I think Stacy hid some tickets under a seat, so
Did.
Oh, wow.
during
Look under your
service,
seat, you
there's a
might,
couple tickets somewhere. I don't know where she put them.
That's fun. We're gonna have to
She's
check
kind of sneaky.
So sneaky.
Do we have to look under the empty seats?
Yeah.
Well, I've seen people do
I
it.
don't
You can
think
do it.
so.
You don't have to.
Because we
Is
will.
there somebody
We'll go.
sitting in the seat?
I think it's over back at, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome. The tickets are $30. They're for sale in the bookstore. $12 for kids 12 and under. Hey.
They got a couple of seats.
Yeah, you got a couple seats. All right. You will not want to miss it. He is, well, he's Dr. Jamie now because of his accomplishments in music and just being an all-around good person, amazing human being. All right. Well, I'm so glad that y'all are here and all of you that are here virtually because, and I'm not going to tear up or anything, but I'm just glad that you're here and that you're welcome. You're welcome to be here, no matter where you are in your spiritual path. I don't care. I'm just glad you're here.
Yes.
You're always welcome. Thank you.
You're the best.
Thank you, Reverend. Thank you so much. Well, as you heard during that incredible chant that opened up our service this morning, we have an angel in our midst. She is an incredibly talented, as you heard, singer. She is from Agape. So she's from Cali, all right? So she knows how it goes here, okay? She wrote the book on it, okay? So I am so grateful to know her and to meet her. So thank you very much for bringing her here. Please welcome to the stage, Nadine Risha.
Hi, everybody.
Whatever.
All right, we're gonna take a poll. You want the slow song or you want the up-tempo song? Feel. Well, you're gonna get both. Alright. Which one do you want right now? Like, what do y'all feel? Like, you feel like slow, like you're still feeling in that thing, and then later we'll party it up. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, you know, I just wanted to ask. We're all friends. You know? It's a spiritual community. We know we create our reality.
Yes.
Right? So I just wanted you in on the creation of this moment.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm a comedian too, so you know that if you don't like what's happening, it's your fault. It's all out of your mind.
She is your sister Patty?
She's much more of a pro, though. Are you joking? Woo.
All right, let's get serious.
She's a real deal.
Okay, here we go.
I'm sorry I didn't hit the park or something.
I pray you'll be our eyes and watch us where we go and help us to be wise in times when we don't know. Let this be our prayer when we lose our way. Lead us to a place, guide us with your grace, to a place where we'll be safe. La luce che tu dai nel cuore resterà a ricordarci che l'eterna stella sei nella mia preghiera. Quanta fede c'è. Lead us to a place, guide us with your grace, give us faith so we'll be safe. A world where pain and sorrow will be ended, and every heart that's broken will be mended, and we'll remember we are all God's children.
agape is in the house. Woo! It's my favorite day. Another favorite Sunday. I want to introduce you to our somebody that we always see here, hangs out in the back with her husband, beautiful being, and she's a minister. And she's from an agape minister. Reverend Cynthia, or Reverend Cindy. I just say Reverend Cindy because Reverend Cynthia was the founder of our spiritual community way back when, and so it's just to keep it in my mind straight, even though it's all the same, a beautiful soul here to bring us truth. But Reverend Cynthia is an agape licensed spiritual counselor. She has a counseling practice where she assists individuals through various life experiences while cultivating the ability to live an empowered life. She graduated from the Michael B. Beckwith School of Ministry in 2020. She is part of the education ministry and teaches at the Agape University of Transformation Studies, as well as assists in facilitating the professional practitioner program. Through her studies at Mortar Institute, Reverend Cynthia became certified as a a trainer of the energy codes as created by Dr. Sue Mortar. Maybe it's Mortar. But she's also certified in spiritual VEST. Reverend Cynthia has a book coming out this year entitled Life Finds a Way, A Journey of Healing and Return to Wholeness. Sounds like a good book. She enjoys teaching individuals how to apply the teachings and practices to their everyday lives for their own spiritual transformation. You can find out more about what Reverend Cynthia, you can find out more about her by visiting her at www.cynthia.ambreeze.com. So please welcome Reverend Cynthia.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome. Thank you so much for inviting me to be here. Sometimes I need a little push, right? Just a little bit. I don't need to, but I've been here like a year and a half. But that's the way that life works, and that's the way that nature works us. So the title of today's talk is Nature, the Ultimate Broadcasting System. And we're all familiar with several individuals that have tried to communicate this to us. We've probably read their books, heard their lectures, but it's not until we take what it is that they are saying and actually apply it in our own lives that it goes beyond the intellect and it becomes embodied within ourselves. And then you and I become the living teachings. So there's something very magical, very mysterious that's always happening through life. George Washington Carver said, "I love to think of nature as an unlimited broadcasting station through which God speaks to us every hour if we only tune in." And I gotta say that it goes even beyond every hour. It's in every moment and everything that's unfolding in front of you, in front of me, because it's always talking to us.
Yes.
A lot of people think that nature is going to the mountains, swimming in the oceans, talking to the peanut. But to me, as I started to take that teaching on, I came to the conclusion that nature is all of life. Anything that's not man-made. And I don't know how many of you are familiar with this, but there's something called the evolution cycles that humanity moves through. And it's very similar to the seasons that we see expressed in nature. So in nature, we have spring, which is when things are being birthed and created. And then we have summer, which is a season of sustaining what it is that has been birthed. And then we have fall. Right? When we see the leaves change colors, they start to fall off the trees. And then we have winter, where you would think that there is no longer life within the tree, within the roses, because it seems to be dormant. Well, we as humanity actually evolved through something very similar. And so we experienced the phase called creation, which is when we birth something new. We experienced the phase called sustaining, which is whatever it is that has just come through us gets to be sustained. And then we go through the season, nobody likes this one, of deconstruction. Because everything that you and I have been working so hard at sustaining and went through the labor pains of giving birth to, it's now time for it to come undone. And the following cycle is that which is referred to as the void. And it's like you and I stepping back into the cosmic womb where we can no longer hold on to anything that was familiar to us previously. And we have no choice but to surrender, as the song said. So it's like, can I begin to allow myself to know that these are all natural cycles of evolution that we're moving through? No one ever taught us that when we were in school, that this is how you and I were going to be unfolding throughout life, and that nature was going to continuously beckon you to your greatest yet to be. Because we talk about there only being one life in this teaching. I didn't watch what time we started, so I'm going to keep track of let me know, because I could talk forever. As we take on these teachings and we hear the spiritual principle of there's only one life, then I started to say, well, if there's only one life, and nature is a part of that life, and I'm a part of that, does that mean I'm also one with nature? Because I grew up in metropolitan areas my whole life. I was born in East Los Angeles. I lived and worked in downtown LA from the time I was 19 until about 3 years ago. So I grew up in concrete jungles. Right? I didn't have much exposure to nature. In fact, the first time I went camping, I think I was in my mid-20s, and I'm the girl that brought her blow dryer with her. It was like, so I didn't have a whole lot of interaction with nature at that point. But when I flash back to when life started, when I was maybe 4 years old before I started school, living in East Los Angeles, I couldn't wait to get dressed in the mornings, run out the front door, and explore all the various plants that were in our front yard and adorn the side of the driveway. There was such a natural curiosity about me that I would even pick some of the leaves and taste them. Almost like maybe I was like a shaman or a medicine healer of some sort in a previous life. Right? Or maybe I was just that kid that was super curious, who knows? But I remember the landlady lived in the back, and you could hear her come out of her house going, "Cynthia! Stop eating my plant." So when we start out, it does feel like we're very connected to nature, right? We all played with making mud pies.
Yeah.
We had no problem sticking our hands in the dirt, exploring the various plants and the roses. I used to love, when it started raining on my way home from school in elementary, taking off my jacket and dancing in the rain. We start out with that very strong connection to nature. And it's not until we start taking on responsibilities, right? Like our studies, our careers, our families, that we don't allow for the space and the time to marvel at the beauty and the mysteries that are available to us. And then here comes life. Here comes nature. Because we're not separate from it, right? So it's like, you over there, it's time we engage. So in 1995, I saw the movie called How to Make an American Quilt, and it starred Maya Angelou and Winona Ryder. And I remember in this story, Maya was one of the ladies that was assisting in making a quilt that was going to be a wedding gift for Winona. And all of these women shared their stories and their experiences about love. Maya Angelou's story was that her mother had been a slave, and at the end of the Civil War, she was set free. And her grandmother didn't know what to do, where to go, She didn't have any family. She didn't know where her parents were. So she started off on this dirt road. And there was a crow that was jumping from fence post to fence post that her grandmother continued to follow. And she thought, maybe it'll lead me to my parents. But what ended up happening was it took her to like this field where this young man was working the field. She ended up marrying this man, and it was her soulmate. So that was 95 when that movie came out, right? And in 2012, I found my way to Agape. And somehow I ended up assisting on the registration team, and back then they used to register people for classes manually in between services. So in between services, I would, Michelle's here, she was the dean of the university. I would sign people up for classes at the table, and often I would have to go before service ended. And I noticed that there were a lot of crows in the parking lot at Agape. I was like, am I going to find my soulmate here? Right?
Yes.
So I was like, they were a sign for me, right? They went from being like some spooky bird that is only celebrated at Halloween to, where are you going? Let me follow you. And sure enough, while I was serving at that table, and some of you have heard of this story, I had just finished releasing a prayer to God, and I had said to God, I've never been this happy in my whole life. And so if you want me to have a partner, bring him here, and then put a big old sign over his head that says, this is him. And then this guy comes walking out of church. And he walks up to me and he says, you look so beautiful in that white dress. And then he keeps walking. And I was like, not right now, I didn't mean right now. Oh, my goodness gracious. And then, so we finally got married last February. Right? I told you sometimes I need a little push.
I got you.
Just a little. So life is always working with us. Our ancestors knew this, right? Like the Mayans paid attention to the stars. They created a calendar that lasted 26,000 years with such accuracy. There are locations throughout the planet where we still pilgrimage to that are set perfectly, right, to align with the solstice. Stonehenge, the pyramids at Giza, the Sphinx, which is where I actually got to spend time with Nadine. She sang these sacred chants while we hung out in the pyramid. There's something so mysterious that's happening in life. Nature, all of it, is always beckoning us. Somehow I went from East Los Angeles to hanging out in the pyramid with Nadine. But the ancestors knew this. You and I knew it as children. So even though it felt like I wasn't, a granola-y kind of person, it's always been working with me. In one of the first classes that I took at Agape was a meditation class taught by Keely Beckwith. Super shy at the time, could not speak, couldn't stand for people to look at me. But I had an experience during one of the classes. And the experience was so profound that when he asked, does anybody have anything to share? Something raised my hand and I was like, and the experience I had just had was a voice, and then I saw the silhouette of a female, the silhouette of a man, and they were holding hands and twirling in the forest like this. And there were leaves on the ground. And the voice said, "This is why I love you." And being new to all of this, I thought, "You love me when I do nothing?" I thought that's what meditation was at the time. And he said, "Yes." It said yes. So I shared that in class, as terrified as I was to speak out loud. And then I asked Achille, "What do you think that meant?" And all he uttered was the sacred marriage. And I say, "Say more." And he goes, "No, what does it mean to you?" And that's how he's been with me the rest of the time, since 2012. So it caused me to pay attention to that phrase, the sacred marriage. What is it? Today, Nadine sang, and they talked about the sacred masculine and the sacred feminine. So just remember this story, because I'm going to keep going. So in 2008, I went to Sedona. And my son had just shared with me that he was pregnant, they were pregnant, and I was 38, and I was about to become a grandmother. So I said, before you have a child and you have to raise a family of your own, I said, let's do one more mother and son trip. So we went to Sedona, and I scheduled a vision quest for him, so he went out on the land with the facilitator, and then I went to sit with the psychic medium. And the woman said to me, "You're like Jonathan the seagull from Jonathan Livingston." Yeah. She goes, "You hang out with all of these people that when you try to fly, they throw stones at you because they don't want you to go." She goes, "But there's a flock that's waiting for you." And this is 2008, right? So just remember that story. I told you about 2012 when I arrived at Agape, how I followed the pro to the parking lot. In 2018, after completing practitioner studies, no, in 2014, Jesse and I took our first vacation. We went to Cancun, and at one point there was this humongous boulder that was in the ocean, but half of it stuck outside of the water, so I climbed onto it. Because you can walk into the beaches of Cancun for about half a mile, and it's still only waist deep. And when I laid on the rock, I felt a heartbeat, and it was not mine. And I thought, could that be the heartbeat of the planet? So I felt for the first time that I had experienced her. And it wasn't until 2018 when I went back for a retreat with Dr. Sue Morter to Cancun. And I was having incredibly mystical dreams during that retreat. One of the dreams that I had was of a young Asian girl riding on a basket with her uncle. Her uncle was pulling it. And she came up to me and she says, "I have a secret. I'd like to share it with you." And then my ex-husband, who I had divorced in 2004, shows up on the scene. And he was an individual or a personality that it seemed like he was suppressing my voice. I wasn't allowed to express. And he shows up to say, "You can't talk to her." And I could feel all of this energy rising up from within me. It took every ounce of courage that I had to yell in the dream and say, "You don't get to tell me who I get to be friends with anymore." And then it was like exit, stage left. He left the scene. And I turned back to the young girl and I said, "What's your secret? You can trust me." And she said, "I'm both a boy and a girl." Shared that with Dr. Sue the next day at the seminar. And I said, "What do you think that means?" And she's like, "Achille, what do you think it means?" I said, "Does it have anything to do with the sacred masculine and the sacred feminine coming together?" Her response was, "Yes, we are returning to oneness." I also asked her, why are we here? Why here in Cancun for the retreat? She said, because this is where the sea meets the land, where spirit comes into form. Symbolic of we are spirit energy coming into this physical form. Still don't know a whole lot about the sacred feminine, right, at this point. But nature's always beckoning us. But that's a pretty big one. If that's part of what we're up to, which I believe it is, right? That we are here to balance out our masculine and our feminine energies. And in that happening, we return to the oneness of God. How amazing is that? If that's part of what's unfolding. Mm-hmm. And there's always so much more, because I always need a little push. So, as I sat in ministerial studies in 2016, which I had forgotten I had withdrawn from, Reverend Cheryl just reminded me that she was really upset with me. That Reverend I was like, oh my God, I drew a blank. I didn't even know I had withdrawn from ministerial studies. But as I sat in the classroom one day, the sun peered through the window in such a beautiful way, and I was looking out, and there were seagulls flying by. You remember the story? Yes. So I looked around the room to look at my flock. It's always guiding us. Now, when I had gone to Sedona the first time, it was 2002. And I think that same year, I came across a teacher who was a Native American. And we would meet every Wednesday by phone, and every 6 months I would fly out to Sedona to do ceremonies with her. But during one of our calls, I shared with her that my lip was big, so it was kind of hard for me to talk, because I had been bitten by a spider. And she said, oh, now you carry spider medicine. And I was like, okay. So that's how I viewed life. Every time I get bit or stung by something, now I carry bee medicine. Not long ago, I got stung by a stingray when we still lived in California. I'm like, now I carry stingray medicine. But when we look at the significance, the spiritual significance, right? So the spider is representative of connection. The spider is asking you to cast your web far and wide and see what it brings. Let the spider guide you into making new fabrics of connection. It will guide you into weaving your life and personal space into a strong and beautiful pattern. Would you say that's what's happening now? Mm-hmm. With a little push? Mm-hmm. In 2019, just before we moved here, something extraordinary happened. I'm starting to catch on that even though I don't spend a whole lot of time out in nature, it comes to me. So we were living on the 3rd floor of a building, and we had a wind chime that sang beautifully. And one day, a hummingbird decided to create a nest at the top of one of the pipes. And she gave birth to 3 eggs. And it was right before the new year. And I was about to finish ministerial school. I was working on my thesis. But there was a tremendous change that needed to occur within me that I was not yet ready for, to surrender more fully to my life. But I took it as some kind of a symbolism of we've got you from the other side. Okay? They say that the hummingbird is representative of the spirits talking to us from the other side of the veil. Achille has told me that when his mother passed over, like a hummingbird came. So every time I see a hummingbird, I'm like, hey, Alice. But I thought, this is magical. Like, there's about to be 4 hummingbirds here. And actually, she had a partner, and the partner used to come. Do you remember, Jessie? I was like, something big is about to happen. And it did. It was the deconstruction phase of my life. I had a tremendous blowout with a best friend who unfortunately I feel was one of the seagulls that would throw the stones, right? Because I wanted to stay safe with her, and this was somewhat separate from where she wanted to be. And I had a big old fight with my mom. And as long as I continued to engage in arguing with her, I could not focus on this. So life shifted. And then we ended up here in Las Vegas, which I find very interesting. And I hadn't even noticed until one day we were here celebrating Jesse's birthday, and I realized that we were surrounded by mountains that were beautiful. And I was like, I would love to live here. Like, this is nature to me. So after we moved here, there were still more changes, more deconstruction that was going to be taking place. I think I'm going through it right now again. There's some up-leveling that's happening. So I've been hanging out in my office a lot because I do a lot of counseling, right? And I do teaching from my computer. I'm able to do everything from Las Vegas. And so I started paying attention to the tree that hangs out outside my window. And it said, why do you entertain worthiness issues? Take a lesson from me. I go through the various phases where I'm bare one moment, blossoming the next, and full bloom the next, and then it all falls off again. And at no point do I feel I am any less beautiful. It said, I allow my roots to go deep into the ground. I take up all the nutrients that I need. I allow myself to be nourished by Mother Earth. My branches are raised to the heavens. I allow myself to be supported by Father God. Will you not do the same? Because what you're doing is this with your roots. You're closing off. You won't allow yourself to be nourished. And you roll up your branches. I didn't know what I didn't know. So I started doing this. And I continue to pay attention to the tree and how beautifully it shares of itself and all the beings that benefit, including me, right? The birds that get to rest and sing from her branches. The chipmunk that takes cover during the day, enjoying her shade. All the meanwhile, she's allowing herself to be supported by heaven and earth. And so, as we do that, as you and I do that, as we unfurl our roots and unfurl our branches, and we're supported from both directions, then we too can freely share of our gifts. I can stand here and share myself with you, because I'm constantly being nourished from above and below. And then the further discovery that happened was that because of this chakra system that is present here, that I've studied so much about, I said, oh my God, we are the bridge that brings heaven to earth. When we allow ourselves to be provided for from above and below. So tell me that nature isn't happening, even when we are within 4 concrete walls, that it doesn't access you and me beyond every hour. It's in every minute of what's unfolding in front of me. I used to have a tendency of, when things started looking like they were going through the deconstruction phase, of wanting to curl into a ball. But now I know that something mysterious and magical is happening. And so I lean in and I'm like, what are you here to tell me? I know it's something good. All of nature is here to support humanity. Mother Gaia, her mission is to assist us in our awakening. As you and I start allowing our masculine and our feminine to become balanced, and we allow ourselves to be supported from heaven and earth, there is a return to oneness that gets to happen. And so the invitation is, when you allow your roots to go into the earth, Take off your shoes. Allow yourself to feel the pulse of the heart. Take in the frequency that is here to support you. When the winds of change show up, bend, but don't break. Share of yourself in whatever way you were meant, you were created for, and allow yourself to be sustained. Nature, the ultimate broadcasting system. Thank you. Do I pray us out? Yes? All right. So I invite you to turn within for just a moment. And then let's take a deep breath in. And so how grateful and thankful I am. For all that has transpired, for every experience that has ever unfolded, to know that we truly are supported by Mother Earth and Father Spirit. To know that we have never been alone in whatever challenge or difficulty we have moved through life. We are constantly being beckoned to return to the magnificence of what we've always been. This emanation of God in physical form and what it means to be divinely human. And so I recognize that God is this love without limit, this love without condition, this joy, this wholeness, this balance and grace, the peace that surpasses human understanding, that it lovingly nurtures and nurtures us, guiding us every step of the way, from the acorn as it becomes the oak tree, to the younger versions of ourselves that step into their magnificence. It is everywhere present, guiding all of life. And so I'm just grateful and thankful to know that there is something wonderful always happening, and that we are fully supported beyond anything that we can even begin to imagine. And I'm grateful and thankful for the journey, the love, and the light. And so I'm blessing everyone here, blessing our time together today. Grateful and thankful for it all. We say, and so it is.
So it is.
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you.
Reverend Cindy, Reverend Cynthia, you are incredible. I don't care what it took. I'm so happy. It took what it took.
It took what it took.
Thank you so much for sharing yourself with us like you have. I'm so glad that this all happened. There is God. All right, thank you so much, Rev. I really appreciate that. Please put your hands together. I know that sounds goofy. Put your hands together for this incredible angel, Nadine Risha Park. All right, hit it.
This is the up-tempo. This is a song called Lighten Up the World. It was actually channeled through in Peru for all of you. We are on a wheel, spinning through the cosmos. All the love we feel spins away the fear. Walking up the ladder, emanating power. Blessed Holy Spirit, guide us on our way. For we are courage and we are freedom for all the people. As we lighten up the world, yes, we are masters and we are heroes for all the kingdoms. As we lighten up the world, give me all your burdens, give me all your sadness, Blessing all the mountains, valleys, hills, and plains. For we are courage and we are freedom for all the people. As we lighten up the world, yes, we are masters and we are heroes for all the kingdoms. As we lighten up the world, as we lighten up, go on and show the love's the way. As we lighten up, have faith in every word you say. As we lighten up, give up the stories that we made. As we lighten up, go on and light the way. We are on a wheel, spinning through the cosmos. All the love we feel spins away the fear. For we are holy water, we are highly favored. Blessing all the mountains, valleys, hills, and plains. For we are courage and we are freedom for all the people. As we lighten up the world, yes, we are masters and we are heroes for all the kingdoms. As we lighten up the world, yes, we are courage and we are freedom for all the people. As we lighten up the world, yes, we are masters and we are heroes for all the kingdoms. As we lighten up the
Don't ever go anywhere. I mean, my God. That was incredible. That was original.
Super dope.
I lost my order of service.
I will.
What are we supposed to be doing now?
What are we doing?
I don't
Just
know.
enjoying the service. That was
I know. I'd like to ask the ushers to please come forward. This is that time of giving and receiving and celebration. I've had fun today, so that's why I forgot what I was supposed to be doing. Yes. If it's comfortable for you, please say our affirmation with us. I
already forgot that.
All right, from the love of pure spirit within me, I bless my gift. I send it forth to heal and bless and prosper. It is evidence of my faith and belief. It does good work in the world and returns to me multiplied abundantly. All right, and what I know as we celebrate this day and each other, we celebrate and know our abundance. We know that we are loved, and that we share our time, our talent, and our treasure. And I want you to know that Las Vegas Center for Spiritual Living is grateful for your participation in our existence and your participation in our love and light and our community building and just in everything that we want to do in this world. And I just want you all to know that it is your right, it is your truth. And for whatever reason, if you feel that you are not able to give, I want you to put a thought of your own abundance in that basket, because it is who you are. And so it is.
And so it is.
I do believe, see, I will receive. I just have to know and then declare it to be so with an open mind and just a little bit of time. If it serves my highest good, then it will be mine. I do believe, yes, that I will receive. I just have to know and then declare it to be so with an open mind, yeah, and just a little bit of time. If it serves my highest good,
What a great teaching, right? What
Oh boy, do we feel blessed being here today or what?
Yes.
Wow, what a great service. Well, the first announcement that we have is that there's a group that's having a workshop this coming Friday and Saturday on Zoom, and it's called Faith. It's from the Faith and Mental Health Conference, and the theme is healing communities through new partnerships to improve mental health. And all the information is on the happenings table for you to register for this. It's, like I say, Friday and Saturday from 9:30 to 4. If you're interested, please get that information. The class that Reverend Stacy and Reverend Cheryl are teaching, called Change Your Thinking, Change Your Life, has just begun starting last Saturday. You can still join though. One more week you can still join. It's from 10:30 to 12:30 on Saturday morning. The cost is $125 for this 5 weeks, 4 weeks left. And yeah, that's that one. The Healing Words Book Club is a week from Wednesday on the 31st, and we're reading the book called Healing the Soul of America, and you can still join in on that, and that's at 4 p.m. The tickets, as Reverend Cheryl said, are on sale right now for Jamie Lula, and the concert will be on the 4th of September after service, but before that, we have a luncheon that you can participate with right here. It's a box lunch. It'll be sandwiches, chips, waters, cookie, and I was told an orange too. So we have a fruit in there. And it's just $10 for that luncheon, but you'll want to stick around for that so you can join with Jamie. And we're continuing to collect school supplies for the schools through the family courts, and then also feminine hygiene products for Project 150. So when you go shopping, just remember to bring a little extra for here for that. And for any prayer support, just send your prayer request to prayer@lasvegascsl.org or text to 702-524-7096. And when you're shopping on Amazon, be sure to go to Amazon Smile, smile.amazon.com, because we do get a little percentage for that. And remember to check out our bookstore. Besides buying your Jamie Lula tickets, we've got all kinds of fun things over there to buy, so participate. And let's have a wonderful rest of our day.
Thank you, Kitty.
I got some jewelry today.
All right.
I think we have some kids today.
Yeah, we do have kids today.
Hi guys. Would you like some music?
Yes,
In
always.
the name of love. In the name of love. Woo! In the name of love. In the name of love. In the name of love.
Hey, ladies.
Hi, you
You
guys.
want to say something? Oh, they want to say something.
Oh, they do want to say something. So the topic for the month, we know, is nature, and so that was what we were talking about today. So, Jade. Okay. And your name.
Hi, I'm Kyla, and today I learned about nature, and what I learned about it is
What you like the best.
what about I like the best. I really like trees since it can give us clean oxygen, and flowers since it can help bees, and then bees can help us out.
He likes trees too.
Yeah.
I like trees and flowers too.
Yes. All right, thank you.
Hi, my name is Jade, and we talked about how the plants helped us with our environment, and how the trees helps with our oxygen, and how we are breathing well, and how the flowers support bees, and how the bees support us.
So thank you.
That's awesome. And God supports nature.
Thank you, Reverend Patricia. Thank you so much. All right. You know, I got a text from Reverend Anna, who's on our ministry prayer team, and she bought 2 children tickets for Jamie Lula and told me to give them away. So I think I already know who I'm giving them to. All right. I would like to ask our ministry prayer team to please come forward. Any visiting ministers or practitioners, I'm asking you to come forward as well, if you so choose. You know, that these are the folks that support our center, and they're here to support you as well. If you would like a prayer, or if you want to, you can also put a prayer in our prayer box in the hallway, or up here it says God's Pocket, if you don't want to talk to any. But look at these beautiful people. All right, I love each and every one of them. I would like to ask us all to stand so we can sing our peace song.
Oops, sorry.
Yes, there is peace on earth. Now it begins with me. Yes, there is peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be. With God as our power, loved ones all are we. Now we walk with each other in perfect harmony. Yes, peace begins with me. Let this be the moment now. With every breath I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Yes, there is peace on earth, and now it begins with me. Yes.
Repeat after me. Something wonderful is happening to me right now.
Something wonderful is happening to me right now.
I know this in my mind.
I know this in my mind.
I feel it in my body.
I feel it in my body.
And so it is.
And so it is.
Great week. We have CDs out here in the hallway, so come be thinking and buy CDs.
Oh, yes. Her CDs are for sale. Please get out there and buy a CD or three.
I'm saying. I like the way you live it, 'cause you're so genuine. You got that something special, didn't you know? You. Benjamin was living that head, and let's put down my porch on the Something's calling me. Something's calling me. You're perfect. You're golden. You're my light. My love. When I breathe, when I swallow,